Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Reader Talks podcast right here on Reader Talks TV. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly like, subscribe for an engaging, interesting, and thought provoking conversations. Thank you. We have a very important topic to address today. And before we go deep into it, I would like to go ahead and introduce my guest to you. He's a friend, he's a brother, and also a mentor. I'll let Mr. Shijuade Kuku to go ahead and introduce himself to the audience. Please go ahead. Welcome to Reader Talks podcast, and
Mr.
kindly go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Mr. Rido, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this conversation. I know when you reached out, I'm like, bro, I gotta talk about this.
Thank you.
But yes, my name is Sijuade Adedeji Kuku. I'm an African man. I'm a Yoruba man, obviously a Nigerian. I've been in this country going 15 years now.
Wow.
Uh, we've established ourselves. To us, this is home, and number one, Nigeria will always be our home, but the United States, where we've been for a very long time, is now considered our home. Um, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm uncle to many nieces and nephews. But again, thank you so much, Rido, for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for the honor to be on this podcast. It's an honor for us to have you on this podcast.
Oh yeah,
So
bro.
thank you for coming.
Anytime, any day you want me, I'm right there, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. We appreciate that. Well, after the introduction, we'll just go ahead and dive into this conversation. And this is surrounding parenting. As Nigerian African living in the United States of America, we want to talk about what are those key things that are surrounding parenting in the United States. So kindly stay tuned. We'll take a quick break, and you will join you again shortly. Thank you. Parenting,
Yep.
bro to bro.
Mm-hmm.
Egbon and Abru.
Okay.
You understand? Like parenting, right? Let's dive into it.
You're a
I'm a
father.
father.
Exactly.
You're a father
I
too.
know, right?
So
I know, right? Father to boys.
two
All,
boys, right? I'm
all,
two
all,
boys too here.
all
So
boys, man. All boys, man.
yeah. I think honestly. So the question is, and something around this conversation,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people would relate to these as well,
Oh yeah.
and the audience will mostly, I'll say Nigerians, living in the United States, and also even Nigerians in Nigeria,
Oh yeah.
or let's say Africans generally, or maybe everyone. I'll say every race can relate to this conversation. So, what do you think about parenting? Who is a parent to you? There is this popular quote that says, "It's easier to be a dad. Everyone can be called a dad." I can't remember who actually the originator of that quote, but everyone could be called a dad.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to be called a father.
Exactly.
So, what's his parenting to you? What's your thoughts on parenting?
That's a very big one. So let me put it this way, right? Parenting is like you think you know something,
Yep.
or let's say, okay, you know how to swim in a pool, right?
Right, right.
And then one day you go to this beach, let's say in Miami or whatever, coast is close to you. And then you're like, oh, it's just a pool. I've been swimming in a pool. I know how to swim. And then you go into that wave and then you start swimming, but you're not going. But rather, it's the wave controlling you. That's the way I see parenting. And before I also continue, I would like to mention that my opinions are my opinions.
Yep, yep.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert in parenting. I don't
Right.
have any kind of a degree in parenting or know anything. I'm talking basically from my experience, how I was raised, and how I'm trying my best to to raise my children. So for me, parenting is that thing that you think you know, that you think you got, but then you go into it and then you're like, uh-oh, this is more involved than I thought. This is more engaging than I thought.
And you're lost.
I remember one time when I had my first son,
Okay.
Bilal, very beautiful boy.
Mhm.
We brought him home from the hospital, me and my wife,
Right.
and then my mother, my
Uh-huh.
mommy, was there. Elijah, she came in from Nigeria back then. But before she came, both my wife and I, it was hell.
Wow.
One of the things we did was she took a maternity leave. I took a paternity leave from work, so it was heads, both two heads, trying to figure this thing out.
Wow. You guys took the maternity and paternity leave the same time.
Yes, and I was,
Oh.
bro. And I've
Yeah, I
always been
can
telling a
relate.
lot of my friends this, that
Right.
next time when you have your child, if you have a good job
Right.
with good benefits,
Yep.
let your wife take the maternity leave first,
Yep.
and she's there. And then when she's ready to go back to work,
I agree.
because I mean we're in the US,
Yes. Yes.
both parents gotta work, right?
Wow.
So when she's ready to go back to work, that is when you take your own paternity leave. So you also get that bond with your child,
Right.
and you also get that, I don't know, chest, whatever they call it in the
Yep.
hospital
Yep.
with the mother
The
that you do.
body
Yeah, the
touch,
body
like
touch,
yep.
that they get.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's very, very important for bonding with new babies. So back to the story I was trying
Honestly,
to.
before we go into that, I
Yeah,
totally agree with you as well. Being a new dad as well, I think if you have the opportunity, if you have the opportunity, your employer, and your wives or the mother of your child also has that opportunity, to take maternity and paternity leaves respectively. I will advise, I will second this advice that if after you take your first 2 weeks, just to bond with the baby, maybe you let the mother takes that elongated maternity first
especially given
before.
that you will probably work from home.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Most
yeah,
of us work
in a
from home
situation where
anyway.
if you're blessed and opportune to work from home as
Oh yeah,
well, that's a very good privilege for the
don't
mother to
waste it.
take hers. So you guys have, instead of having just maybe 8, 6, depends on the company policy, maybe 12, maybe 14, because I've seen 14, 16 weeks
That's crazy.
on maternity, paternity leave.
I wish.
Depends on that opportunity.
Yeah,
I would say that you guys split that so you have enough bonding time, and also the baby is just probably just eating, sleeping and stuff. You guys have enough time. The mother has time with the baby. You also, as the father, has time with the baby. So it's I mean, he advised me, I took it, and I think it's very good. I wish others too can take it. So that's just what I want to share with the viewers. Like, if you guys can break the paternity and the maternity
yeah.
leave,
Don't
I
take it
think
at,
it's I
don't
think
take
it's a
it at the
very
same
good thing,
time, bro.
because if you
Do not.
take it again the same time, it's done. Now you have to start taking 8 weeks to daycare. I'm not
Yep,
saying I don't have any anything against daycares, but I think you guys can split it, and then you'll stay there as a custodian, watching
exactly.
the baby while the mother is gone. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead in your conversation and sorry that I interrupt you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So back to parenting, the
Right.
shock that I had with the early stages of being a father or a daddy. So we brought my baby home. So I remember one day my wife was so tired. So it was like in the late evening, something like that. Uh, my son had just pooped. So I was trying to change him.
Right.
So I put him on the. We were living in an apartment,
Right.
back in the day.
Hmm.
So I put him in the second room, put him on the bed. Put the sheet on it to capture loose
And it
any
lose poop.
any loose poop. And then so I raised his leg up, wiped
Right.
him. I was talking to him, singing, all that, and then I finished wiping him, and then I go to take the diaper, the new one. I wrapped the old one, the
Right.
dirty
Yeah.
one, the soiled one, wrapped it up, put it on the side, and then I went to take the new one, and
Did
then
he
I
already
go back,
pee?
and then I raised his head, his legs
Legs. Right.
up,
Hmm.
and then the pee just came. That boy shut. Listen, bro. Listen. Come on. Hold on. Hold on. So he shut the pee up.
Oh
I
goodness!
was I was looking at the pee like, oh no.
Like a
And
projectile.
no, that wasn't the projectile. It was the poop that followed. That boy shut that poop Oh my goodness. It was on my face, on
Right,
my
right,
lip, my
right.
chest. I had a white tank top on that day. Everything. My arm, my leg. It was everywhere.
Goodness,
The
goodness.
smile, the singing that I had going on in my mouth was cut short by the poop. I couldn't even get mad. You know how you love someone, it's like this your
Yep,
baby,
yep,
and then he's just
yeah, yeah,
he was
yeah.
like a few days old, man.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
was just
yeah.
looking at me like, what's up?
Well,
What
that's the consequences of
what
your actions.
what did I do? And
Well,
then I had to call my wife. She came in, she took over. I had
mhm.
to like get a bath and
Yeah,
everything.
right,
But that was
right,
my
right.
first shock of
Parent.
being a parent.
Yeah,
But guess
yeah.
what? It doesn't get easier.
I
It
know,
gets
right?
harder from that.
Wow,
So
wow.
to
Well,
me,
that's
not being an expert,
I know, right?
that is my first test
And how
of
does that
of
make you feel today? He's about 7, right?
he's
Is it
7
7,
now.
right? And then
I tell him, he's like, Daddy, that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. So I'm like, dude,
right,
you did that to
right,
daddy. He's like, oh my God, I
right,
did
right.
that. I'm like, yeah, bro,
You
you you
did,
you
you
did you
did,
did that to me.
you did. Honestly, I think it's fun when we play back those memories, and
Oh my
even if
goodness.
our parents have to play those back to us as well, it's gonna be really fun. We'll be like, did I really do that?
Oh
But
yeah.
that's nature, and that's one of the that's the good thing about a blessing. So
My African mother, being who she is, she will remind you of everything she did. Like, I did this, I did that, I was this, I was that. I'm like,
they all do that.
come on, man.
They all do that. I think they all actually do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So going to my next question, right? What do you think about strict parenting? What do you think about? Do you think strict parenting is more effective, than a lenient approach, in raising a well-adjusted kid? You know, do you think strict parenting is better? Do you think we need to be lenient? How do we strike the balance if we have to be both ways? What's your thought?
Hmm. Please forgive me for everything I say here, because a lot of people are gonna attack me in the comment section.
Well,
But like I said, this is all my opinion.
opinion. Yeah,
I'm an
yeah,
African, yes, and I'm an American,
yes,
but I'm an African man first, and I'm a
I agree.
Nigerian. So let me give you a little bit, my background,
Okay,
how I was raised.
right,
Uh, I was raised, I don't know the Yoruba word for it, but I was raised by a community. Okay,
right.
so my father, being the bad guy that he was, he had 6 wives.
6 wives?
Yeah, 6 wives, man, 6 wives. We grew up in a culture where having wives, having things like that was a norm. It's okay. It's not a big deal. But yes, my father had
Do you know
six.
what number you are on the list of the kids? Do you
Uh,
know?
well,
Remember, do you actually have a roster?
well, we have a WhatsApp group. How about that? I swear to God, bro, I can show you on my phone right now.
Oh,
We have a WhatsApp.
just for the kids,
Just
from the 6 wives.
the Adedeji descendant, the Agbola
Did you
Adedeji
just say-
Kuku descendant. That's
just from your dad,
just for my dad, bro.
not the extended cousins. No,
Not
just my sibling, my stepbrothers, my
Nah, just for my
wow,
dad, and there's 22 of us.
22.
22 of us. Yeah. But so back to how I was raised.
Right.
Like I said, I was raised in like a community. So I was raised mostly by my mother's side,
Okay.
because yes, my mom was, I believe she was the fourth, or the fourth wife. Correct me, whoever of my family that's watching this. I believe she was probably with the fourth wife, I believe, and I
Yeah,
was the
honestly, I'm gonna agree with you. If you lose count of what number she is, we forgive you.
yeah.
But she's one of the 6 wives.
She was one of the 6 wives. Yes.
Right,
So
right.
I was one of, but my mother didn't live in the compound. So my dad, in Ibadan, Nigeria, or your state.
Right.
So he had a compound. I believe was like 3 buildings
Okay.
in the whole compound,
Right.
with each wife having like their own separate houses or apartments, so to say, in there. But my mother didn't live in any of those. She's like, nope, I am not living in here, because she came from a divorced, she was previously divorced,
Gotcha.
from her first husband, where
Right.
she had my older siblings
Okay.
before she then married my father.
Okay.
So when she came into the picture, she's like, no, I'm not going to live in here. So she was living alone. So it was a situation where my dad would, be in his
Visit.
house, and then he would come to us, this and that. But I was raised in a situation where everybody was involved.
Gotcha.
My mom, today, Alhamdulillah, she's chilling and flexing and enjoying now. But back then, it was very rough that she was working a lot. So it was my grandma, my aunt, my uncle, my dad, my cousins, everybody, uh, the street brother, the street uncle were involved in raising us. So
Everybody, there is
it
an
took
adage as well that
it
says
takes a
it takes a
community.
community to raise a
Yeah.
baby,
So
right?
that was the way I was raised. Not now where it's just me and my family. The neighbors are not even
Nobody cares.
entitled
Nobody
to any kind
cares.
of opinion or to say anything about your child and stuff like that.
Even
So,
when they do, they have to be respectful about it.
oh yeah,
Back then, nobody cares about, like, you do something wrong, they address it immediately.
yep,
It doesn't matter, is your dad, is your mom, is your cousins, is whoever,
Yep.
is your neighbor.
Yep.
People come in to say, hey, your son, your daughter did something yesterday, and I addressed it. And even at a point, I was
addressed
like,
it, or they spanked you.
that's what I'm saying. They
Spanked-
addressed it. I
spanked
don't.
your-
I
spanked
well,
that ass
they,
so
they,
much.
They addressed it
Yeah.
without any any fear of any consequences that could come afterwards, because they
yeah.
know, like, they have pure good intentions.
Oh.
And that's what make us who we are today. Because
Exactly.
we don't just go out there and do anything. Because I could be like, well, my neighbor could correct me even if my dad is not here. All those
Yep.
kind of stuff.
Yep.
There was this woman, because growing up, I live in a face me face you house. That's where we used to live. My dad with four of my other siblings, were five in numbers. We live in just a one room apartment. My dad, my mom, every one
Wow.
of them. So, and then this house
Look at you now.
this, well, you could say that, but this house is 12 rooms, like 12 rooms individual, and each room has, let's say, a minimum of a family of two.
Sheesh.
So that's the minimum. Others, we are like, we're seven in a room.
So you're looking
so
at
my
30
dad, my mom, 5 kids,
30
that's seven
minimum of 30 people
in the entire, like, going
that-
to school.
in that compound.
Oh, going to school, like, think about it like this: like, if you had to go to school, right, in the morning, we wake up at 4 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
You understand? So wake up at 4 in the morning, and then the queue to take a shower to school. The queue to take a shower to school, because it's just one bathroom and one toilet.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole 12-room house has one bathroom and one. So we, the little ones that had to go to school, we queue. And there's no what's hot water. So that's when you had to sweep in the morning. You have to do all this chores. Now,
Fetch water.
fetch water and all this kind of stuff, right? But where I'm going is in saying that it takes community to raise. Guess what? Each of all those mothers in those house raised me,
Yep.
raised my siblings, raised every other kids in the neighborhood.
The neighbor will
So
help you
something
bathe your
happened.
child.
Something happens, right? My friends, when we're coming from school,
Yeah.
my friends, my primary school is like just down the street from us. So when I'm coming, my friends are no longer like Abbas and Co. Like Abbas, shout out to you. Like all of them, they still live down, because we in Egbeda then, we live in Power Line. So they still live down the street. So there will be like the kind of discipline that my parents are not even there. But I have to prostrate to greet my neighbors who are sitting outside.
Every single
So
one of
I
them.
have to prostrate to greet every single one of them. So guess what? My friends that were coming to school together, my friends are gonna be like right there while we're coming,
Waiting.
and then they'll be waiting for me to display my my acting or whatever it is they call it there. And it's just the discipline that comes from it. So I have to prostrate and greet every one of them. Yamoria will be plating somebody's Jima will be sitting outside. Our landlady will be there. So you'll be like, Ekulima,
I got one.
Ekulima,
I got one.
Ekulima, Ekulima. So you have to greet each and every one of them to go inside. So just to buttress your point,
That was a
it
workout.
takes
That was a
whole-
workout in there.
I'm telling you. So you have to imagine you have to do that,
Yes.
and then the society that we have today, the Gen Zs, that I guess they can't relate. So
No,
going
they-
back into the question, like
No, they cannot.
those one I think are strict parenting.
Yeah.
they literally enforce it. It becomes part of our code of conduct,
Yeah.
something that we have to do.
Yes.
It becomes our daily life. So today, when I see an elderly person, it doesn't hurt me to prostrate because it's what I've been doing, my
Exactly.
entire life. But what do you think? Do you think it has a side effect? And it also has some other things, when it comes to panic, anxiety, when it comes to the way other things, the way they address. Because honestly, they didn't just tell me to be prostrated; they made it mandatory.
Yeah.
Like you have to do it.
Yeah.
Now, why do I have to do it? I don't know. Till today, I still don't know. People think it's an act of respect, but I think I can respect people without actually bowing down, prostrating for them. But I
Yeah.
think our culture, recognizes that
Yeah.
as a symbol of respect.
Yeah.
So I will take it that that's a cultural value. But
Yeah.
then they didn't make it a cultural thing. They made it you have to do it. You
But yeah,
understand? So that was
but you have to understand, if you are going back to uh a discipline. What was the title? What,
the question was the lenient. Like, do you think
discipline and
strict parenting or
strict parenting. Yeah,
lenient parenting? You think?
it goes back to that.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier, I was raised in a very disciplined environment,
Okay.
and that is what I believe in. It's the way I was raised. However, in this day and age, anywhere in the world, there has to be some level of leniency with it.
Gotcha.
So there has to be that balance.
Okay. Mhm.
And at the beginning, I would say I was struggling with it a little bit with my kids.
With being lenient.
With trying to be lenient, but my wife was, it's too much. You got to take it slow. But then I understand that these are boys
Right.
being raised in an environment that doesn't, I don't want to say care about them. So one decision I made was, being an African man, my wife, she's African American. When we wanted to buy our house a while back, she's like, we should, stay in the North County, where there are more black people, this and that. I'm like, no, there is gonna be racism. There is gonna be a lot of judgment about whatever we do or we don't do. So he needs to be raised in that environment from the beginning, so that he can understand, assimilate, and grow up around it. So
Live the reality from the get go.
exactly. So understand that,
Right.
yes, when you are home,
Yep.
you are daddy's boy, you are mommy's favorite.
Yep.
But outside there, bro,
Be ready.
be ready. So literally on my street, my house,
Right.
we are literally the only black family
Wow.
on that block. It's a
Wow.
very nice environment.
Mhm.
A lot of kids.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
A lot of kids. Very beautiful family.
Right.
Very nice people. But I make sure I raised them there. The school district is one of the few black boys, kids in there. There are more black family moving in also.
right.
But it was a situation where I'm like, if there's any kind of opportunity here, which there are, he's gonna benefit.
Absolutely.
And if there's any kind of issues going on, he has to see it. He has to understand it. He has to experience it as well from the beginning, so he can have a better understanding. Which is why, to me, discipline is not something that you see. When you said earlier that they made you prostrate, they made you do it. Guess what? When you grew up, when you saw someone older than you, it was an instinct. You didn't have to prostrate, probably, but you had to show that respect. I remember when I went to Atlanta a few years ago to renew my Nigerian passport. So it's a Nigerian embassy, right?
Absolutely.
So we're all Nigerians.
You expect it to
So,
prostrate?
and no, not really. A
Okay.
lot of guys there, a lot of people there. I mean, I'm a millennial. I'm a little bit old. I look like a baby, but but
I'll disagree with you. You're in your 20s, I think.
And I know, right? So I got in there, and everybody was doing their thing. The Yorubas, the Igbos, everybody was just lining up. They don't care. And then I saw this old man. He came late. He was trying to sit down, and then I saw the way he was dressed. I saw that this was a Yoruba man.
Yeah.
Got up, prostrated for him. He was so happy.
Wow.
I'm like, gave him my seat.
Wow.
And then he called me, shifted a little bit. I'm like, okay, sit down.
You to sit? Yeah.
Sit down right beside me.
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
was like, my son, I've been here for hours. Nobody even suggested or volunteered their seat for me.
Wow.
That you must have been raised right.
Right.
I'm like, well, I come from a very strict family. If I don't do it, my mom might be flogging my ass right now from Ibadan.
So
You know,
so yeah.
discipline to me
Mhm.
is instinct, instilling in your child. It's not necessarily about beating, spanking, but
Right.
discipline is instilling in them the values, your family values, your background, what you think is right. Children do not know right or wrong. Every single time, if you give a child a plate of very healthy fruits and veggies,
Right.
or a scoop of M&Ms,
Right.
bro, every single time the child will pick the M&Ms.
Hmm.
He doesn't care, but you as the parent know what is better for the child.
Right.
So
Mhm,
you
mhm,
have
mhm,
to,
mhm.
that to me, that is discipline. Now saying, yeah, maybe have just a little bit of this M&M, but more of this fruits and veggies for your
To
body.
strike the balance.
Yes. So you would have to be lenient a little bit, but to some extent. We do this. My kid's doctor did, also advised us about this, where my sons are like, I'm very picky with food. I've always been picky with food.
Right.
Like, and unfortunately, my sons picked it up. And then my wife is literally making 2, 3 meals every night.
Wow.
For us. So it's me one thing, and then the boy is like, I want this, I want that. And then the doctor was like, you guys cannot keep doing this. You have to give them the choices that those are the things you want to do. So I don't want to say we tricked him. So we give him the 2 choices of the food that we want him to eat.
Right.
Do you want veggie pasta, or do you want, for example, let's say broccoli? He's
Okay.
not gonna take the broccoli, but the veggie pasta is healthy because it's made from veggies. But okay, I'm gonna eat the veggie pasta. Fine, that's how it is. It's fine.
So you
So
you agree with the school of thought that you have to be lenient
you have to,
and
because
also
the kid.
have some little borderline.
Yes,
You don't let them get away with everything.
the discipline has to be there. And one thing about discipline, I will tell you a story, right?
Right.
Um, if I tell people that I've never had a sip of alcohol in my life, nobody would believe me. And every friend, every group of friends I've had growing up, they've all drank alcohol. I smoked.
Like you've never. Hold on.
Ever.
You smoked?
I used to smoke back in the day. I stopped smoking in 2014 in the US. 2014
Wow.
was when I stopped smoking.
But I hope
But
your parents don't know you ever smoked,
bro,
because I don't know
bro,
what's
nobody-
African
nobody knows.
what's African parent perspective about smoking.
Bro, they'll
Like
they'll-
you're the
they will probably shoot me in the leg or something. You smoking? But
No, even the community too. Nobody wants their children to even come around you because you smoke cigarette.
Do you know how I smoked when I was in college? And it got to a stage where if I had to read, I had to smoke. So
you become addicted to it.
I wouldn't say addiction, because I literally stopped when I wanted to stop.
Okay.
And so I would literally go in the bathroom when I was in college naked while I'm taking a shit. Then I'll smoke, and then I'll read. That was how I used to smoke. And then when I got to the state, I was, going through my master's 2012 and all that. And then I'm like, a pack is like $6.
A pack of cigarette.
Yeah. Okay.
And how many packs do you go through a day?
Maybe a few sticks. I wasn't like a smoker,
So
but the point I was trying to make was with the alcohol, because as I'm a Muslim, so I've never tasted alcohol. But the discipline part of it was from where we were raised. Nobody in my family drank alcohol. Even our elders, like my uncles and my dad, and older cousins that drank, they never drank in front of us.
Wow.
That was the level of discipline we had. So it translated and then transferred to us to understand that no alcohol.
Hmm.
Parties, birthdays, whatever kind of big event, no alcohol.
Wow.
And even especially when my grandma was alive, she was a beast. No alcohol whatsoever.
Wow.
We would have a big party with this big musician, Fuji musician invited.
No
No
alcohol.
alcohol. So my uncles, what they would do back then is they would get like a big
They smuggle it to it.
they smuggle it in. They will have their own side party, like a
Right,
canopy on the
right,
side. They will
right,
keep it right there for their
right,
friends.
right,
So it's gonna be like in the evening when all the women and all the religious folks have left, or they are
right.
getting.
And then they start.
Then
their
they
home.
start their home party. That's when the
So
alcohol comes out.
I'm gonna go into this part of this conversation now that
Yeah.
we're talking about being lenient and stuff. So now in this Gen Z eras, right? This Gen Z era, do you think
I think there's a
children-
new era now. What do they call it?
Gen Alpha, Gen
The new one after Gen Z.
the ones that just
I think there's the new one right now after Gen Z,
is
because
it after Alpha is better, right?
the new after Gen Z there's a new
Yeah. So
there's
there's Gen Alpha.
I-
Then I think there's another Gen Beta. I think those ones are anything after. Is it 2030? That's when Gen Beta, or maybe 20. I don't know. I need to look
I just
it
know
up.
that
I need to
there's
look
a
it up.
new generation. After
Generation.
this.
Yes, there is. there
Yeah,
is.
those
I
are
totally
like
agree with you.
my kids, and
That's their own generation. Anyway, the question I want to ask is: do you think children should be exposed to smartphones, and social media before they are teens, before they become a teenager? Do you think, and do you think this will be harmful to their development?
Let me put it this way. I read a report recently that the executives of those social media companies
Right.
do not allow their kids on their platforms.
Wow.
I think that speaks volume about the dangers of social. Think about it. What does a 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14-year-old girl, boy need phone or social media for? Think about it.
Yeah.
As an adult,
Yeah.
right now I'm in a space where if I'm going to the bathroom, if I don't have my phone, I'm like, that the shit doesn't come out right. I gotta relax, and
I think everyone can relate to that.
I'm like
Honestly, I think everyone can
Bro,
literally relate to that. Let's
I
say
am almost addicted to the extent now. Like right now in the mornings after my workout, I go in the bathroom. I'm literally going through bills first, and then I read sport news and every other news that is going on, and then I scroll through some videos, and then I'm like, 20 minutes. Then I'm like, okay, I gotta wash up. I gotta go.
telling you.
That's
And
so.
even
Imagine
after Salat, the first thing you grab is your phone.
exactly.
Even not trying to do askar or something, praying to God. The first thing you grab, you see people go to church, and even at church, they are right there on their phone. People are distracted.
Exactly.
You see people sitting on the table trying to have dinner, family time. Everything has been interrupted with cell phones. And what are we doing? What's keeping us engaged in cell phone?
Bro.
Is social media.
Bro, and those are adults. Those are people that still have self-control.
Yep.
That know good and bad, right and wrong.
Right.
Now compare it to little kids that their brains are still developing and they are soaking up so much information. My boys are so smart, you cannot say you gotta be so careful about what you say around them.
Wow.
Any curse
Okay.
word, any bad word,
Pick it.
we try like hell to not say anything bad in the house, because before you know it, they're picking it up. But guess what? When they go to school, this boy, or I don't want to mention any boy's name, where did he hear this word? This boy said it. That boy said it.
Wow.
So for me, phones, no. Social media, you don't even, what do you need it for? It literally is not going anywhere.
Well,
When you get to the age when you need it,
yeah.
it's gonna be right there.
So
maybe even something better will be.
maybe, but there's a lot of. I mean, this also conversation spark up to say there's a lot of discoveries, talent discoveries. There's a lot of content out there that are basically for these kids around this age.
Yeah.
So people think like we can let them be on social media. We just need to control what they have access to. on
Yeah.
social media.
Good
So
luck.
my friend Victor,
Good luck controlling that.
honestly, my friend Victor, because my kids are not even up to the age of using a phone yet. But my friend Victor, who has, like 9, 7 year old kids, he has a tablet for them. And, most times when we're here, it's like, yeah, my kids are watching this. You know, he knows, he keeps track of what they're doing.
And it's the
So,
same with me too.
yeah, but I just think like we're taking a lot of things from him. Adam is just 5, and he has a whole tablet. Like, he's always like, if you want trouble, take that tablet from him.
Oh yeah.
But the tablet doesn't even have internet. It's just with, like cartoons and stuff
Games,
like
yeah.
that, games that. But he's really fixed to those things that even when you want to pass a message to him, you have to make sure it goes through that tablet, or you want him to do something, that tablet becomes a bargaining chip. Now, I'm not saying being addicted, but I think we can also give them that luxury. Growing up, I don't have access to tablet.
Where
I
were
never
you?
did. But I
There
have
was no tablet
I
back
have
then.
some kids who are privileged kids, because I went to high school with very privileged kids, I would say. So I have kids that have who are my friends that we grew up together. They have games, they have all those cool fancy stuff in their homes. But I don't have that privilege. You understand? I want my kids to have that privilege. But at the same time, I want to make sure it is controlled. There's something within my reach. Like, they are not doing things that could or could not harm them. Either or. I just don't want them to be harmful. I want to protect them to the best that I can. So taking it away from them when they see other kids have it might be like, "Oh, why can't I have it?"
Well,
I don't want them to have that kind of feelings if I can afford it for them. But at the same time, I feel like we should control this thing.
yeah.
That's just me,
Yeah.
though.
So
Relating to my background, and I feel it should go.
let,
But
let,
again, taking it away completely, like, dude, if you're not 13, 14, a teenager that I think one or two to get on there, I don't even want to see you there. I think it's just, you know, inviting them to start, looking at what their friends is doing, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want them to be influenced by peer pressure. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. So this is the way I see it. There are some good content,
Right.
like there are some educational videos,
Right.
and my kids have tablets, and I've set it up in a way where they have to read before the tablet then unlocks the games. They cannot download anything.
Yeah.
I can literally cut it off on my phone.
So you can control it.
So I control it. If the tablet, they only get like, because I mean the science people, there's been a bunch of research about screen time for
Right.
kids
Mhm,
and
mhm.
stuff like that. That how much screen time is needed and so on. So I try as much as possible. Everybody that tells you they stick to 2 hours or no screen,
That's
it's BS, bro.
that's near impossible.
It's all lies, bro.
No, I won't say it's all lies.
lies.
See,
No,
see,
I'm talking about.
honestly,
Oh,
I,
hold on.
I'll say this, right?
Hold
I
on.
mean, I just want to say, when you say it's all lies, like,
No,
I won't say it's all lies. Some people are very disciplined. I'm telling you. You need to see some people, they come with rules and regulations, bedtime,
it
wake
means
up,
it means those kids in those homes do not even have tablets at all.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have it, and you're like, do you stick to this time? It means, because there are some time that you're probably busy with something,
right.
and the only thing that would get them, especially working from home, like this week they're on holiday.
Right.
So, and you're working, what are you gonna do? You have someone calling you from the office. You have a very important meeting with
Right.
managers and stakeholders, and the boys right there, daddy, I'm bored, this and that. Yes, if you get a few minutes, what I usually do with my kids now, especially when they are home, if I know that they're gonna be home for like a long while, I would then come up with some games, and then I would try and work on his math. So I would write up a bunch of stuff, and they usually have this work from home homework or assignment that they give them from school. So sometimes I'll print it out, I'll go through it. So I'll give him those exercises. So while I'm engaged in work, and hopefully maybe people would try this as well, instead of just giving them the tablet. So I'll come up with something that they can do. And my wife, she's in her office, I'm in my office. She does a kind of job where she needs to be focused, 100%. So she will lock her office door. I'm like, fine, I got it. So my sons will be in my office, but I will give them something engaging to do that they will be like right there, so engaged on it. So I will literally take my time at night before the next day, write something up. I will write maybe a bunch of math issues, like 2, 3 pages that I know is going to be difficult for him, but he engages him. He's right there trying to. And I have kids that are very competitive, and like me, if they start something, they want to finish. So I do that for them. So before you know it, they are engaged. Then they'll play. Then they'll get a snack. Then they'll be like, okay, can we get a tablet? Okay, 30 minutes. And keep in mind, once the tablet, I set it up in such a way that if they leave it 5 seconds, it goes off.
Right.
And then they don't know the password.
They gotta come back.
Who knows the password? Only daddy. So I
think
gotta put it in.
There are also some applications
So,
that I saw.
There are so many apps
that can shut it down. That they can control
You
and
can
say,
shut
hey,
it. You can shut it down.
You've had them. It's not saying they can't use it, but it's saying, hey, you've had 30 minutes, and now it's time to bye bye.
Yeah. My kids iPad will tell you 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
And then you bring it to me. And then you click, and then the thing will give him 5 more minutes again, and then it shuts off.
Right.
And then he has to bring it to me.
So,
but those are the good ones. They are educative. But social media specifically, and when I say specifically, the major ones, the Facebook, they do not need it.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you are in high school. As far as I'm concerned, for me, people might disagree. If my kids are not 16, 17, they don't need to be on no Facebook or Snap or Instagram or whatever it is.
I agree with you.
For me, that is how I am raising my kids.
I
a lot of people would disagree.
Yeah,
phones, they don't need it. We got my little one a small phone now, but it's a phone with no internet, no nothing. The only reason is just so when we are not there, maybe he's with his grandma for the weekend, he wants to call us or whatever, he can call. But that is all that phone does. Just an alarm, a camera, and text.
Hello.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's all he can do on that. So he is not playing with it. He doesn't touch it.
Right.
Most of the day, if he's home and we are all home, he doesn't even remember that he has one little phone that he can use because it's nothing. But when he's away from us, he needs to do something. Or sometimes when we are playing, maybe I remember like two days ago, we were trying to scare his little brother. So he's like, "Daddy, I have a plan. We're gonna scare Amir." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So he tells his little brother Amir to go downstairs, and then he literally goes downstairs, finds the phone. I went upstairs, turn off the lights, and then he calls me like, "Okay, you can come down now." So
and Amir freaked out.
But he was so smart to not call me or raise his voice to call me that, "Daddy, come down." Right. He literally used his phone to call me and whispered,
"Now it's time to come down.
It's time to come down." And then we turned off the lights, and then we went around, scare his brother and stuff like that. Those are the kind of play. It's better. It's better if you are more engaging with your kids. Find that time. Even if it is, they will cherish those moments. My wife is off, she likes buying them toys. Right. Me and more, I will give you a toy once a while. We're in Walmart last weekend. They're like, "Can I get this? Can I get that?" I'm like, "You got money, bro?"
They always want to get everything. They always want to get it.
Like, you got money? And then it's like, "Daddy, you have money."
Yeah.
I said, "Where's the money?" "In your wallet." "Where?" "The card." I'm like, "No, Daddy works for money. I'm not gonna buy you
if you want one, go work for it.
Just because you said it."
Right.
So no, you gotta maintain it. But then sometimes when they are not expecting it, I might see something nice on Amazon or something, I would just buy it.
Good point.
But I will always tie it to something like, okay, if you pray all your prayers or when you're done, I have a big surprise for you. Then they're like so engaged, in their chores, this and that. They make their bed quick. "I'm done, Daddy. I've brushed my teeth." I'm like, "Close your eyes." It's something small. It's something that they've had before.
Right.
But because of the fact that you built that excitement with them, they are so engaged
That
with it.
honestly, that's
And
what
then when you give them that small thing,
they cherish it.
oh
It
my
looks
God,
like
Daddy,
we want to
it's
do
so,
more.
it's so cool.
It's like
You know,
getting you a Christmas cloth in December. You
oh,
know it's coming anyway, but when they make it look
you
like
saw it
yeah,
when it was going to the tailor.
and then be like
When they went to the shop and got it and took it to
tó o bá fọ bọ́ yẹn
Auntie Kini
o
got
ò
the
ní
tailor.
gbaṣọ dún o tó
Oh
o bá
yeah.
gbọ́ o ò ní gbaṣọ you like where's the place.
But that excitement of
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
some. But guess
They
what?
make it.
After 2 days, they are done with it.
That's it.
They've
That's it.
moved on to the next thing.
Kids are gonna be kids all the
They
time.
moved on to the next thing.
And
So
that's
why do you need social media?
Yeah.
Why
I
do,
think
they don't need it? They need to leave that memory. The things they don't forget is those things you do with them.
Right.
Those memories, those time together, eating together, those making, we do this thing where we make fun of each other. Like, oh, maybe he pooped, or maybe his little brother peed. Like, oh, pee on the bed, boy. Something funny, and then they joke about it.
and those moments lives forever.
I'm bald, right?
Right.
I don't know if anybody wants to see it, but when I'm bathing them or I'm whatever with them, they'll be like rubbing my hair like bald head daddy.
Give it
You
time. That's it.
They'll be like bald head daddy.
Give it time. They'll be there too. So.
Oh yeah, but those are
yeah.
the moments that they remember.
Yeah.
Social media, especially with this what is this new one? TikTok. I read something about it that I don't even want to talk about. Like the attention span, how it's so bad. Like 5 seconds, you scroll, and then before you know it, you're spending 2 hours.
Yep.
My mom, back home in Nigeria, more than 70-year-old old woman, she's on TikTok now, checking videos.
I mean,
I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, oh, it's fun.
It's keep them engaged,
Yeah.
keep them entertained.
Like, oh, we
there's
get
a lot
this-
of content. Anything you do, there's a lot of content out there, to kind of like support whatever you do. And then there's this algorithm that brings something you just
it will
want to
just-
see,
bro,
and it's there.
It will
And
just keep coming.
I'm not saying it is bad. I'm saying that
It is
for,
bad.
for these kids.
It is
For
bad.
these kids, it needs to be. We need something better for the kids.
Bro,
we
they
need to
don't-
keep
they
them
don't- they
the
don't
way- the
need
best
it.
that we can, because I don't want a
Yeah.
situation where my kid will be there scrolling for the whole day,
Yeah.
and then giggling, and then before you know it, they make
Bro,
anybody a celebrity.
have you
now,
heard
so.
about this Roblox? This Roblox is like this gaming app where you play with like everybody from anywhere in the world. This guy, I heard, he apparently exposed Roblox, and then they blocked him. And then there was one other guy that literally signed up as an 8-year-old kid, an
8-year-old.
adult man, just to see, the kind of whatever is going on the site. And he was able, he set the age parameter and everything. And then before he knows it, they were suggesting games and content that was above his age,
Wow.
even though he specifically said his
His
age.
age.
So normally they should be giving
And
him.
is there like an experiment out there for that? Like there's the publication around that.
Yeah,
on there with
if
this
I see that,
roadblock thing.
oh yeah, if I see
Yeah.
that video, I'm not sure if I sent it to a bunch of parents. I don't know
Okay.
if I sent it to you. If I see
Okay.
that,
Well, that's alleged, right? That's alleged.
yeah,
that's
but,
alleged.
But there's a lot going on
Okay.
social media that it's dangerous. We're looking at look at the content they are giving us in the US, in Africa, compared to what they are giving folks in, for example, China. The kids there are so disciplined. The
Right.
way they raise their kids. I think I saw one content about that earlier where I sent to people that in the Chinese community they're disciplined. The parents control everything. They tell them that they enroll them in this class, in that class, this and that, and then the kids come out to be geniuses and stuff like that. But other communities, the United States, it's twerking, it's this, it's that, things that are not beneficial, things that doesn't add any kind of value to them. So
I
that
agree.
is when I see stuff like that.
Yeah.
Being a parent of 2 little boys, I'm like, no, nah. Just I will stay away.
Okay.
I will
okay.
just stay away.
Okay.
That's
okay.
my opinion.
Okay. Opinion.
Like
yeah.
I said, don't kill me for my opinion. I'm not an
yeah,
expert,
absolutely.
but me
it's well
raising
respected.
my kids,
Mhm.
the values I'm trying to instill in them, they don't need it.
For now.
They don't need it
Yep.
at all. If you think about it deep down, there is nothing they are gaining from it.
Right.
The dopamine rush from they don't need it. They need engagement from their peers, their friends, their parents, their family. Take them out. What I've been doing recently is with my kids, I take them to
The park.
not even the park. There's this gaming place, Dave and Buster's. It's expensive. You gotta spend some money,
yeah,
100,
But that's
$120.
engaging.
But
They're moving
they
around,
are
doing something,
playing, they are
saying kids,
doing so many kids. They
it's a
run
lot of
around.
activities over
By
there.
the time we get home, bro, they
Yeah,
are
tired.
wiped out.
All knocked out.
They are tired. They just want to eat, get a bath.
Yeah.
They would sleep. And we usually do it on the weekend when I know they will. The next day, once I wake them up at 6 a.m. to pray, they go back to sleep. They won't get up until like 10 a.m.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Let me ask you a question, right? You had mentioned earlier that when you had your first child, your mom was there to support, and I think
Elijah was here.
right, and I think as Africans, not just Africans, I think people generally need help, mostly when they have their first child, when they just have their first child.
Nobody can do it alone.
I know, right? And there's a lot of helps out there, a lot of communities ready to support. I know a few, birthright and stuff like that come through for most first-time parents. There's a lot of communities to support you. Your neighbors are also always there. My neighbors are very kind when we had our first child. So basically, what I want to say is, what do you think about, how much influence should their grandparents, who happens to be your own parents, have on raising those kids? Do you think when a grandparent is involved in raising a kid, do you think the kid becomes a spoiled brat? Because statistics shows kids that are being raised by grandma, they become a spoiled brat. Like, grandma will let me have this, grandma will let everything happen. And kids are always eager to go to grandma because they get by everything. So what do you think? Do you think we should continue to encourage that act where grandma help raise kids and those kids becomes, successful, they becomes well cool-headed kids? Or do you think we should what's your thought around that?
Yeah. So it's like a sided knife or two-edged sword.
So there's no straight
but-
yes or no to that. There's
but
always
it's-
gonna be
oh
a
yeah,
thought
but
around.
honestly, yeah, but it's more blessing than disadvantage.
Okay.
And if you think about it, if you were raised right, the way, I mean, you're a prime example. Your mom and your dad are here helping you right now with your your baby.
Now I'm shy.
So
now I'm shy. Now I'm shy.
no, but really think about it.
But I'm an experiment, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a living
If
experiment.
The thing is, the
Yeah.
truth is, if you were not raised right,
Mhm.
I don't think you would even want your parents to come help.
Right.
You would be like, no. But if you were raised right, you would. I jumped through hoops. I did everything just to make sure my mom was here. When
Right.
our visa expired, then I went through. I spent a lot of money to renew our visa and everything when I had my second child. Like for her to be here, because I know the value that she's gonna bring.
Right.
But at the same token, it's like I don't know, especially with grandmas, it's almost like,
There's that soft spot.
yeah, they have that softness for they were mean to you, fuck you up however they want, but then they see your child and then you're like, wait a minute,
Right.
this is not the mother that raised me. She wasn't soft.
Okay.
She wasn't like this.
Well, because you had mentioned something real quick, and we're gonna come back to this grandparent thing.
Yeah.
Grandparent coming in. You mentioned spanking, right? While you were young. Do you think spanking a kid is a good act of instilling discipline in the kid, or you think spanking a kid is an abuse?
Well, I would say the way I do it is,
Okay.
I obviously spank my kids, but for correction. But
So does it do more harm than good when you spank them? Does
hold
it foster your relationship with them?
hold on, bro.
Okay.
The way I put it is the fear of spanking
Okay.
does the job. That's the way I say
Okay,
it. The
okay.
fear of receiving that spanking is what it is. So what I do you want us to go back to the grammar
Yeah,
a
we'll go
little
back
bit?
there. We'll go back there. But I just want to ask about, let's quickly touch base on this spanking,
Yeah.
and then we can go back to the grammar
Yeah.
afterwards.
Spanking, especially spanking is needed, is how I would put it.
You said spanking a kid is needed?
It's
To
needed.
raise a kid, you need to spank them. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes. It's not all the time.
Okay.
It's not for every issue,
Okay.
but especially when you are raising a boy, a man that you are trying to raise into a man, he needs to understand consequences. For me, the way I raise my sons
Okay.
is there has to be a consequence for every action you take. So next time you think before you do it.
Okay.
So you don't spank them for everything. When they have done something very serious, you spank them as needed. But you don't do too much. You don't try to harm them. But you do something that, the way we do it. And we live in this environment where you have to be very careful. If you hurt your child, you're gonna take the child and stuff like that.
Right.
We all
Right.
know this.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to be very careful. So sometimes it's you holding both of their hands and spanking the lower back, with clothes on, or maybe with a diaper on, with your hand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. They will feel it. It hurts a little bit, but it's not a pleasant feeling.
Right.
So next time you tell them, if you do this again, you are gonna get this. Some people will say, oh yes, you can talk. Talking is very important.
Right.
Letting them understand. So it's not that it's the first thing you do, spanking. No, it's usually, it should be the last thing you do, not the first thing. Always the last thing.
So spanking a baby to
Not a
instill discipline, or spanking a kid to instill discipline should be your last result.
It should be.
You should have held
But
conversations,
oh yeah,
corrections, some kind of other things to instill discipline, like, taking away the screen time that we talked
it's
about,
not. It's
other
not.
kind
It's
of stuff, like act of discipline before you get to spanking.
it's not. It's not. It's not even that. Kids are kids.
Right.
They don't think before they act. And a lot of times, especially when they are 4, 5, from 3 even, they now start testing their boundary up to how much can I get away with.
Right.
So that's when you need to be very, very
That's
careful.
True. That.
So you need to be letting them know the consequence of their action.
Okay.
Hey, if you climb that, you're gonna fall. If you fall, you're gonna get a boo-boo. Do you want to have a boo-boo on your knee? No, daddy. So next time, like if my younger one climbs it, the other one will say, Amir, get down. Don't climb that. If you climb it, you're gonna have a boo-boo.
Right.
So they learn faster than the kids. This COVID kids that we are having, they were born smart. It's ridiculously incredible how smart they are growing these days. So spanking should be the last thing. It should be after you let them understand the consequence.
Right.
When they do good, let them know that they've done something good. Appreciate them. Encourage them.
I'll probably get a candy for that.
Whatever it is, but don't overdo it. But also push them. And when they do something bad, you talk to them. This is not good. Or let's say they hit someone or they do something disrespectful. And I will also say respect is very, very important. It's a big thing. The way I say it, respect. If you respect people, they are almost forced to respect you back, whether they want to or not. They'll be like, okay, this guy is too nice. Oh, this guy is very polite.
It's a Newton law of motion. For every action,
There's a
an
reaction.
equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah. So, which is one thing I try to instill in my kids. So before I get to the spanking, I've taught you, I've told you about it. So when I will now give you that spanking, I am literally asking my son, do you know why I'm spanking you? Yes, daddy. Why? Because I did it. And how many did we talk about this? Yes, we did. I'm so sorry.
Well, poor little baby.
I'm like, you said if I say the truth, you won't spank him. I'm like, yeah. You have to say the truth. We do not lie, but at the same time, there are consequences for your actions. So I will spank him a little bit. So he will understand it. He will feel that little thing of pain. And then next time, when he does it or when he wants to do it, he remembers. And then I'll remind him, if you do this again, I'm gonna give you spanking. And then he'll be like, how many? And then I'll be like, how many? Okay. Well, I guess you would have to find out. And then he's like, oh my God. He's like, oh my
He was
God.
asking how many spanking is he going to get?
Yeah.
So he's testing the boundaries.
Exactly
Say,
my
can
point.
Can I? Maybe?
But then he now remembers the feeling of that spanking, and then he adjusts.
Okay.
So you can spank, you should spank as needed, but it shouldn't be the first thing you do, because if you spank, me growing up, there was a time I can't remember what I did. I was beaten up mercilessly. Oh my goodness, I was flogged.
The only one
And I was like extremely I was an extremely, because I was the last born
oh,
of
yeah.
my mom. So I feared
I wasn't the last one. So
I feared, bro. Hold on.
Yeah.
I feared nobody. It was until I got older that I started realizing,
yeah.
my mistakes. But I feared nobody. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care. What are you gonna do to me? My grandma, my mom, they all protect me, and stuff like that. So I got away with a lot of things. But when they are not there, my cousins, my older brother, my older sister, they would fuck me up like I had stolen money from the bank or something.
And in referencing that, right, which I quickly want to tell a quick story, right?
Yeah.
The day I have 2 days I'm never gonna forget in my life. But one, it's kind of like right there, which is relatable to what we're talking about, was the day my dad kind of like really beat.
Spanked
Like,
you.
Not just I'll say spank, but
No,
isn't these over spank?
Yeah,
when he took out his.
that's beating, man.
I was like,
it's
beating. It really whooped me.
Don't let us sugarcoat it.
Yeah,
It's beating.
that's what it is. And
Not abuse, though.
Not abuse. No.
Yeah.
This
Because a lot of people be like, "Oh, that's abuse."
No, this has
it's not.
nothing to do with abuse. And I'm gonna say what I did. My dad kind of on the spot, check you right there. Pum pum. Have you prayed? No. Pum pum. Right there. You get it.
That little
right there. You get it. You keep moving.
that quick tap.
The
on
correction is
the
always
the
on
back of your head.
The correction is always on the spot. You get it. You go. You keep moving. That's the energy.
So you remember.
So next time when your dad pull up right here, I see kids now running to embrace the dad when the dad get back from work. When my dad pull up right here, I'm thinking about 1,000
What have I
things
done?
I'm supposed to be doing that I wasn't doing that he's gonna ask me. So it's either I'm at the mosque, praying when my dad pulls up, or I'm right there at my mom's shop. So it's either two. If I'm not in any of those, I'm in the wrong. So I have to fix it immediately.
So
this day, my friends in school, and that was why I was talking about the tablet thing. When my friend in school, there's this new wristwatch that just came in the early 2000s. It's black wristwatch. I don't know, in the early 2000s.
one of those kids.
Kids, yeah,
smartwatch.
It's kind of like that. So basically, I asked my mom because I never knew we were poor. All the kids they were coming to it. The class with it, and they're water resistant.
Oh yeah.
So it's also water resistant. So I like fancy stuff. We're poor, but
Who doesn't?
any kobo naira I see, I save them to get. So I like to look clean and stuff. Anyway, so I asked my mom. I said, "Hey, mom, can I get this?" And she said, "Yeah, you know what? You have to hawk for me. Yep. And then you have to hawk for me consistently for 2 weeks, and I'll buy it for you. Guess what? In the morning before I go to school, I hawk.
And for those that don't know, hawking is literally whatever your mom sells.
Whatever your mom
put
sells,
it on a tray or
put
whatever.
it on a tray.
Put it on your
And
head.
then you
and
hawk it. You hawk it around. You hawk it around the entire town.
Yep.
You sell it. You kind of like find a way to praise whatever it is. You eulogize it a little bit and say, hey, to make it fantasizing to the people, to patronize you.
What were you hawking then?
I was hawking habanero peppers,
Rodo,
and tomatoes.
Tell us,
So-
how were you? What was your
My strategy.
your what is it called?
Um,
Your marketing
strategy, right?
slogan?
Slogan.
Well,
If you want to go deep down there, I'll say it's always alata to do, alata to do, everything say bell, all those kind of cool stuff. So
So you were Rido Alata, Omo Ya Alata.
exactly. I mean, there's no other way to package it than that. So, but anyway, my mom said I was gonna do that.
You got to hawk for
weeks.
2 weeks.
And I did that.
Oh, you were gonna do it.
I met that.
Because you knew you had to get that watch.
She gave me the metrics, and I make sure I delivered on the expectations. So
you met all the KPIs.
everything. I was ticking the box, like I was taking note of everything. She said you will hawk on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just to be able to.
And you must sell everything.
Not really sell everything, but I just have to hawk for her. So I did that because I want this wristwatch. So the first week I did, the second week I did, the last day of the, and remember I still have to go to madrasa, I still have to go to Ilekil while I'm walking. So I still have to go to Ilekil. So this is it. I tell my mom when I come back because I don't want to miss the metrics. You understand? I want to make sure I deliver on the expectations. So I tell my mom immediately I come back from school. After school we go to school at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7:30, and then we have to trek like about 3 miles to get us, and you have to walk.
Oh,
So when I think our lesson and everything is like 4:30. My madrasa starts at 5. By the time I walk back home from school, it's already 5 o'clock. So I tell my mom, the minute I'm coming, bro, I have to prostrate and greet everybody. I just tell my mom, get the pepper and tomatoes ready. I want to go and change. So by the time I get back, so I can quickly hawk it and be back, and before 6 o'clock, I have to go to mosque. I have to go to madrasa.
You're already late
for Arabic studies. I'm already there. My lip is gonna whoop my ass. I know that.
But
I will get the whooping.
You were gunning for
But
that watch.
I want to meet that expectation. So she gave me this, and I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna do it. That's not a problem. So we keep doing that. The last day, like I keep getting whooped at the madrasa. It's in the morning. Remember, I still have to walk in the morning too. I get whooped at school as well because I come
So
late.
you would hawk in the morning very early before you go to school?
Because people have to make like fried egg, bread and egg for their kids.
Breakfast
for that. So they need my pepper and tomatoes to make those breakfasts. So I hawk very early in the morning to deliver that. In the evening, people have to make dinner. I hawk as well to deliver those. The most time I sell everything because my mom wouldn't make it too big that I won't be able to carry. But I do those hawkings. Now 2 weeks now reach, and I said, hey mom, where's the wristwatch?
What's up with the watch, man?
Then guess what? Another excuse. You had yesterday. You do this, you do that. But that's totally different from what we're talking about.
That's
here.
not the deal,
like,
man.
We had a deal, remember? So now I'm going to have my dad kind of like what brought my dad into it was my dad is the one paying the tuition, it's not my mom, right?
Obviously.
So I now want to bargain to get my wristwatch. And I told my mom because I know how important education is to them. I was in GS2 then. So I told my mom on Sunday, if I don't get the wristwatch on Monday, I'm not going to school on Tuesday. And I know that's like the red line you don't want to cross with my dad.
You
don't say you're
you
not going to
effed
school.
up with that statement.
You can say anything else, but not school. So I told my mom, I thought I have it by getting cheap. Like, you know what? She's gonna get it for me. And truly, I can say it because each time I hawk, I make money. When I stay in the shop, I make money. And all this money goes to my mom. And she has the money. I never knew there are other responsibilities. There are other things that happens to keep the house running. So I didn't know that. I wasn't even thinking about it.
I won't go to school.
But anyway, I wasn't going to go to school. And, my tuition was, think about it now, my tuition was about 8,500 naira in the early 2000s. I'm telling you, that's like, I don't know, but that's going to be like, if not millions now, or maybe in the 800,000 now, now what?
With the hyperinflation.
With the hyperinflation and everything happening. So then I know how my dad used to pay those money. It's not really easy. So he kind of like does it like contributions to make sure he meets that, that payment stamp. So they don't kick me out of school. So my dad does everything to put me in school. My mom does everything
in a private school.
to put me in private school. Yeah. Then my mom does everything to keep the house running.
Food.
Then I'm here saying I'm not going to school because I want a wristwatch. Well, that morning my dad was like, that Tuesday morning came and my dad was like, everybody had been leaving for work. And like, because like I said earlier, we wake up like 4 to queue and take a shower. I didn't go out to take a shower that morning. So I'm like, dude, I'm not going anywhere.
You
meant
business.
But again, where am I going to stay? There's no place for me to stay, right? Where am I going to hang around?
Mm-hmm.
There's no place. Like, it's a whole one room, everybody in their own business. So I can't be in the same room with my dad. He's going to ask me why, So I went outside at my mom's shop. So I sat there and she was like, Dude, what's wrong with you? I said, I'm not going to school. I said, I'm not going.
Oh,
So-
school ni.
So I told my mom I'm not going. So my mom was first looking like maybe she doesn't know what came over me. I don't know. But give it some time when everybody had left. This time it's around like few
Nine.
minutes. Like no. Like no, because we leave the house like 7:30. So everybody is like 7:45. And
Everybody
then
has rushed.
reality is
rushed out.
downing.
School work.
There was no kids at about 7:30. There's no kids outside anymore. Everybody had gone to school. I don't
Yeah.
care. We all went. Education is kind of like mandatory basics.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
to the secondary to the high school level. All the kids
That's
were
why
gone.
we are the most educated
So- all the kids were gone.
country in the world.
Then I'm like, hold on. Like the reality is also setting because I'll be bored. Like I'm already bored. There is nobody to wave to. While they were leaving, I'm saying bye bye. You're not going to school, near. I'm not going. No, I'm not. This time I'm not going. But anyway, my mom just whispered to me. I don't know what my mom went to tell my dad. My mom just whispered, my dad is calling me.
Yay.
I thought my dad is going to say, okay, all right, you know what? I agreed to the deal.
We'll buy it for you
Get
tomorrow.
dressed, come with me right now, and go get your wristwatch, then go to school.
Or
So
we'll buy
I
it for
went-
you tomorrow.
I
Don't
went
worry.
inside and I met my dad and I'm like, well, my dad was like, what? Oh, law school, you know that? He first asked me, you were when? Like I said, he didn't see me. I've disappeared. So, when? You know, I mean, law school, any. You know, like first thing first is, I don't talk to my dad standing. We don't. None of us, we don't talk to my dad standing. None of the kids, no. You have to be on your nails to address my dad. So, but that day, because my mom said he's calling me, so I only just came in and he asked me a direct question. So I wasn't kneeling, I was standing. You understand? So the minute I said that,
You were not prepared for what was
I,
coming.
I don't even know anything was coming. I thought it's gonna be. I thought they want to negotiate with me so I can go to school. So the minute I came in, my dad asked the question. My mom had ditched. She closed the door at the back and she left.
Like,
So she left me to have a conversation.
it's all
with my-
you now.
Like why would she even do that? Like she left me to have a conversation with my dad.
They already
She
talked
stepped
about
out. She stepped out, and that was everything. Just went down. The first thing I heard was my hair. Everything just it was like a resound. I don't know. Everything just echoed. Pum, pum, pum. I keep hearing that sound, continuous echo. Pum, 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 pum. Like my ear was ringing. Pum, 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 pum. I was like, you first want to get your balance again to see what was
Like,
going on.
okay, what just happened?
Then behind the scene, like the whole of my back was, everything was addressed,
Woo.
like it's supposed to be. And then he asked the question.
What did he
again.
use? Was it a belt or?
Exactly. It's
One
a
of
belt.
those,
And those belts were made of leather.
Oh,
They are plain leather belts. They are like straight belts.
original leather.
So then he asked me, you still want to stay at home or you want to go to school? I said, I want to go. I want to go. I want to go.
I be you not go school ni.
That day I didn't take a shower.
And you went to school.
No
like that.
shower. Nothing. But the good thing was, every night we wash our uniforms and everything to make sure it's dry. So I put on my uniform right there. I, pick up my bag and my dad escorted me to school.
No, he took
Now-
you to school.
Okay, well,
No, he took you to school.
well,
Like,
well,
you must
well,
get in there in
well,
the gate, see you walk into your class.
well, because I guess he was like, he doesn't know what I'm going to do next. Maybe I could do something else. I don't know.
Maybe you
But
just run away
to
from
me,
there and not go.
Maybe
to
I would just
school.
run away. You have this thought too as a kid, like,
Oh, we
I'll
did-
just disappear.
we-
I'll just
we-
go.
we
You
did
guys will be
that.
finding me. You know where I am at. So, but anyway, so I then, he took me to school, and our proprietress, she's also a very tough woman. So the minute she saw my dad, something has happened. So my dad just explained to her, like, I don't have any wristwatch, but the thing is, he said he wants the wristwatch, and is that part of the expectations for your child to have wristwatch to come to school after? Like I said, my tuition was expensive.
After
So,
I
do
paid
we-
all this whole
She was- she-
8,500 naira.
Actually, she was like, no, like what is that? What is that supposed to?
That's
Guess
like what, $10?
Guess what?
$6, $7?
It was actually the wristwatch then was 40 naira.
Damn.
But think about it. The plate of pepper that I was hawking, the plate of tomatoes then was 10 naira. And then you have to sell 3 of that 10 naira to make 25 naira. So So meaning
and you
I
are
have
trying
to make 6 trays
and you are trying to buy
to
a
make
40,
the 40 naira.
40 naira
Now,
watch.
6 trays out of the whole basket of tomatoes that my mom is selling. What is that's probably our profit margin.
That's like 20% of the whole thing.
Bro,
Gone.
that's what I was asking.
Just for your watch.
And so then guess what? Perpetua just said, what? He said he's not going to come to school because of what? You just paid the school fees. Double wahala for daddy body. That was how I entered it again. Like, my dad had whooped me in my back. So nobody saw anything was going on there. And you had to, you're coming to my school, you had to wear a white inner and then wear your school uniform is green. So you have to wear your school uniform and stuff like that. So professors didn't know stuff have gone down. He just thought my dad just pulled me to school and it's the old man bring me to school. So professors was like, what? And he called Mr. Akinyele, I think, one of the notorious teachers.
The fact that you still remember his name.
I think I know. Is that Mr. Akinyele or I don't know, or Mr. Peters? I can't remember one of them. He just called it, but that guy was tough.
Those were the two bad men that whooped you.
He called one of them and it was like, they were actually going to, after the assembly. Assembly is over. Assembly starts at 8 o'clock. That's when we get to school. And then we do it like 8:15 or 8:30. And then first period starts 8:30. I go to school like 8:45, 9 o'clock.
So you're already late.
First period is almost over. So he called this man and the man came and he was like, hey, then my dad had handed me over. Boom! He has jackpot. Me and the now my dad cannot tell them I've already I've whooped his ass. I've dealt with him at home or wherever. But I didn't tell them that. So we just started afresh again. Said, why didn't they didn't beat me? They just asked me to stood down. So I stood down, right there, pointing my hand on the ground.
So stood down is when you put one leg down.
One leg down.
And then the opposite hand down. And then you raise
raise one leg up.
The one leg up.
So one finger down.
One finger down.
And then
the opposite leg stays down.
No.
And then
the opposite leg stays up.
No.
So if you're using your right hand down,
and then your right leg also down, and then your left leg goes up.
Your left leg up. So
and then you rest your left hand probably on your knee
or your back, like
the back if they want to make it harder.
That was what they made me do for 25 minutes.
It's a good workout now, but
it's a good
back
but
then.
that was good punishment back then. I'm telling you, and where I went from is, talking about spanking and instilling the hack of discipline to these kids. That really shaped my life. Since then, I know that that's a boundary I can never cross.
Oh yeah,
saying not going to school is a boundary that I can never cross. And guess what,
bro?
To date, I never through my higher institution days, when I was in college and everything, including when I was doing my masters, I never missed it.
Let me tell
because it keeps coming. I keep having the flashback like my dad is looking somewhere.
let me tell you the power of spanking.
Right.
I remember there was a time I was in primary school and I grew up, 90s. So I remember I was my dad never spanked me ever.
Wow.
But I remember
you're lucky.
The only time
you're lucky.
No, because
you're the last child.
I was the last child.
Yeah, so you're better than spoiled brat.
But I had younger siblings from the other wives, so I wasn't the last. I was the last for my mom.
For your mom.
But the other wives, I think they had like 1 or 2 other kids.
Okay.
But I remember there was a time I was in primary, whatever, I can't remember. But I came home, and then I didn't even take off my school uniform. I went out of the compound, and then I went to play. And then my dad came to the house, like, where is Shiju? And then they were like, he went to play. And then he sat there, nothing. I came home, Daddy, blah, blah, blah. I was happy to see him. And then they were like, we've been looking for you all day.
All day?
And then he took 2 of my cousins or something. They held me. One on the front, one on the back. They held me flat like that. And then my butt was exposed. All he gave me was 5 or 6, not more than that.
Yeah, you don't need more.
I never.
That's more than enough.
I never forget, and that was the first and the last time he ever spanked me.
Wow!
And I'd never forget. So when we were growing up, they would spank us for something we hadn't done yet. Like, I know you're gonna fuck up tomorrow. Let me spank you right now.
Take it
like
down.
You
Take
would
it today.
like my uncles would see a boy misbehaving on the street, they would come home because of the fact that the boy is my friend. They would spank me. I'm like, what did I do? I saw your friend doing this. It means you
There's
have done it.
possibility that you will do it.
You must have done it, or you're gonna do it. So I'm gonna spank you now, so you don't do it. That was the way we were raised. Like, I'm a spank. It's like a deposit. Like, I'm a deposit the spanking on your butt now, so that
When you do it,
when you mess up,
it balances out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well,
spanking is very, very important,
Mhm.
but to me, it should be the last thing you do.
and
It should be.
moderated.
It should be you. The fear enough should be enough sometimes.
Right.
And kids are very smart. They are smarter than you think. They know how to wiggle their way around things. So if you resort to spanking, it's gonna get to a stage where the kid will be like, because for me, later on when I was in senior high school, and I finished high school in 2003. I believe, I think you're in GS what there.
Um,
Maybe
just
that was when I
2003, right?
2003. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
just-
when I finished high school. But that was when I'm like, no be beat you go beat me. So I was like that, like, you're gonna spank me, right? Let's go. Because I got a lot of spanking from everybody. Because I was so stubborn, I was so difficult, very difficult kid. Because I was the last one, I was spoiled.
And
Like,
you're short too.
I mean, I was short. I was like this short, and I was
Short man devil.
short, exactly, short man devil.
All
You know,
right.
and
all
I was
right.
I had the
Yeah.
mouth on me, bro.
Uh-huh.
I feared nobody.
Body, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I would say something, and I was fast, man. I would run to my grandma, and then they can't catch me. And then my grandma was like, "Nope, you don't touch him. You don't touch him."
That's the protective shield right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm like, "You wanna spank me? There you go.
There you go.
Do your worst."
Well, yeah. So
You know, so my point is, if you spank so much,
Mhm.
it gets to a stage that they get almost like immune to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like when you are telling a child, no, 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 no. Like my wife used to do with my kids. It's like, no, no, no. Maybe they're trying to do something, instead of saying, don't do that, or if you do that, something, this and that. Be very specific. You'll be like, no. So now,
You can't have that. You can't do that. You can't. Then
So
they
instead of-
anticipate the rest.
so that no made them to think almost like it's now a yes to them. So when they hear no, they're like, I'm still gonna do it. Or they test you, they'll be looking at you. No, don't do it. Blah. Don't, no. And then you see the boy going, and then smile, and then you're like, oh, what else do I gotta do? You know.
I agree with you. All right, thank you. Well, that's an amazing conversation, and I
Yeah.
think,
But back to,
okay.
I know you mentioned earlier about grandparents.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I did.
It's very, very important that you have your kids, because there is a lot, especially when it comes to culture, tradition, and for example, for us in the diaspora in the United States, to be specific, language, having your grandparents there to help, especially with learning your local language, it's of the most, it's very, very important. You know, kids nowadays with that speak multiple languages, they have that little bit of that edge above other kids in their school that only speak one. You know, you see Asian, Caribbean, Spanish, all kids, African kids that speak English and other languages, you know, a lot of the teachers are impressed that you speak this, you speak that. So if you have your parents, yes, they will spoil them. We all know that, and it is fine. But at the end of the day, they love your kids. They are not gonna harm them. They are not gonna give them cigarette to smoke, or buy beer and give them, or something like that. But they spoil them by letting them get away with things. That was how my grandma did to me. But at the end of the day, I grew up. She wasn't there.
Yeah, you don't spend that much time to the point
You
that,
know.
that getting away with it affects your growth or your career or your future.
Exactly. But the grandmas are there for that love, especially when you have parents in this our country that we live in, where both parents are working, sometimes the grandma might be the one watching the kids, and that love, that tender care that they give is even different from what the mommy or the daddy would give
I
them,
know. Right,
because
right.
they take their time. You know, my mommy used to be the bull, the strong woman. She still has multiple restaurants that she was running, so she was this strong a woman, that raised all of us. But now she's soft. She has like what, 12, 15, 16 grandkids.
Grandkids.
So she's like, I'm like looking at all this, my nieces and nephew,
Getting away with
and
everything.
they are like, grandma, 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 and I'm looking at them like, do you know this woman? Do you know this? And
It's
and
like
then I see her with
it's
my
like yeah, it's
see
like
her with my
my
kids,
yeah,
and
it's
then
like
she's
my
all
nephew, my
soft.
niece is now with my dad. I just told what my dad did
Mhm.
now. My nephew and my niece playing around my dad, and my dad is always like, looking around like he'll be pulling
You
my
look
dad's
like
clothes, my dad carrying them. I'm
this
like,
man.
this
You can be like this, and you were not like that with me. Come on, bro, that's unfair. So it's
yeah,
needed. It's but and the thing is, they know too, because they are our mothers, they are our fathers.
right.
They know what is right and what is wrong.
I agree.
But
I agree.
at the end of the day, that grandma and grandpa love, and a lot of the time, they also use it as a form of gaining some kind of mommy, daddy, or a child to mother relationship. Some things that they missed out on. Like maybe they were working so much that they didn't have time while you were growing up. And so, like me, it was the same situation with me, where my mom was very working. She was building her empire. My father was working. Everybody was very busy. So it was like my grandma and my uncles, my aunties, my cousins, and everybody in the compound that raised me. So when my mom then grows up, now she's like, okay, I've missed out
I
on
don't
a
know.
lot of things.
That gives the opportunity to
You
not
know,
just mend the fence, and at
exactly.
the same time heal as well.
Guess what?
To
Let
yeah.
me tell you something funny that has been happening lately. In this community, in this environment, like me and my son, I would kiss them goodnight. I read to them every night. Love you, love you. When I drop my son at the bus, I gotta say I love you. Bro, he holds on to that. Like maybe at night when he finishes sleep bedtime prayer and is about to sleep, and I want to mess with him, I'll say, okay, bye, night night. I'll kiss him on the forehead, and then I walk away, and then we'll be like,
Daddy, where's my love?
where's my I love you? I'm like, oh, okay, I forgot, sorry.
We
And
don't
then
forget
so
that.
I'm like, I love you, they love you. And now growing up, I had never heard my dad or my mom say I love you ever. They, how? What is I love you? I love you is the fact that you have a roof over your head. I love you is the fact that you eat 3 square meal a day. I love you is the fact that you have that one shoe that you wear to school every single day, and they would only change it when there's stones entering the shoe, and it's gone through 2, 3, 4 years, and you really need another one. Then they will change it.
Oh,
That
I love
was
you.
their I love you. But bro, when I had my
Yeah, you
child,
cracking me
and
up.
for the last few years, I'll be on the phone with my mom.
Yeah.
And I think that was an influence from my wife, because when
Right.
she'd be on the phone, she'd be like, "Mommy, I love you, mommy."
Yeah.
And then my mom would be like, "Kini so what?" And then, oh no, then I'll be like, "She said she love you." And then my mom would say it back.
Kidding me.
Yeah. So my
Yeah.
mom would say it back to
About
my
that love
wife.
well.
Exactly. And now guess what?
Yeah.
Because my mom, every week we talk, every Sunday, unless it's important, then she'll call me during the week. But mostly like Sunday, she'll call me like in the morning. We'll talk for like an hour about everything. And then find my mom saying, "I love you." And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Is it Bilal?" Or like, you wanna like
call?
And now, bro,
You wanna talk about love with you?
every weekend,
Yeah.
she's saying it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when she's done talking, I will pause.
To kind of like feel
Okay,
it,
come
like,
on, let's
and
have it.
that really resonates.
So I'm like,
you
let's
know.
have it, let's have it.
Yep.
Like this comedian, let's have it, let's have it. Then she, I love you, and I love you too, mom. Bye.
Yeah. That's great. That's great to know.
So it's
Yeah.
grandma love,
Mhm.
grandpa, parenting.
Grandparents love.
It's
It's
lovely.
important, and
It's It's so good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I believe our viewers as well, we agree with you that, it's a blessing to have your parents alive when you're raising your kids.
Yes,
And also,
definitely.
it's a privilege, I'll say, if you have the opportunity to have them be part of parcel of your life, to be able to support you,
Mm-hmm.
to raise your kids.
Yeah.
Like my our guest has rightly said, they're not gonna harm the kids. Whatever they do is out of love, pure love, and support to their
Unless
growing extended
they're your
families.
parents are degenerates, they smoke, they gamble, they do this and that,
Yeah,
and they're gonna be a danger to your
to your
kid,
kids.
and
Yep,
maybe you
yep.
guys didn't even have a good relationship
Relationship.
growing
Yep,
up.
yep,
Then
yeah.
obviously, you don't want grandma that smokes, grandpa that
Yeah, not just smoke.
pimp,
I'll say,
pimp
if
grandpa
yeah, yeah,
around your kids,
if there are
then that's
some
understandable.
some
But if
obvious
you're raised
danger
right with
that
your
yeah that
parents,
you
you
see.
need them.
Yep.
It's
So
not
if
even a discussion. You
you
need them
need them, yeah,
because they
absolutely.
will teach your kids what you don't even know.
No, yeah, right.
You know,
To be honest, I'll say this: my mom gave my son Hamad. My mom gave him his first shower, and I'll be honest with you, both myself and his mom, we cannot do it.
yep.
And
Same with my kids too. My
there's no
mom.
amount of YouTube videos that's gonna help you, navigate some steps in life if you don't have those presence there. There are some things that happens. My son's first hiccup, we freaked out. They said, yeah, it's normal. Sometimes before you see the doctor, they're there to say, yeah, it's normal. Maybe you just
Did they
do this.
do all
Maybe
the
just do that.
twisting, turning, and
Bro,
all the massage, and then
it's
you're
a
like
lot it's a lot
cringing,
of
like
things
they're
that
gonna
you
break
it's
him?
something
Like
you're
no,
looking
they know exactly what they're
hey
doing, bro.
why
Don't,
is this
don't
so
break his arm.
but
Like no.
but anyway, it's all love. My dad literally said, your mom is gonna do it. And I'm like, okay, well, she can do it. And my dad said my mom like gave almost 90% of all the kids in our community their first shower.
Yep.
That's my mom. Like my mom is always the one they will call. Hey, this woman just gave birth. My mom is the first person to be there to shower that baby, to help that woman get back on her feet. So
Give
if
the
my
give the
if, yeah,
massage
the massage,
and
everything,
stretching and everything for the
even
baby.
like postpartum, like after they had a baby, all those things. My mom is always there to help that woman get back on her feet.
Yeah.
So why can't she do it
And even with
for
with, with
him?
vaginal delivery
Yeah.
for our wives,
Hmm.
the mothers, they are like there telling them how to take care of
Exactly. What are
the
the
healing,
exercises?
even with C-section,
My mom
the
was saying
healing,
a lot of things.
everything.
The
It's
doctor say do this, and this is where you just draw the line. Doctor say do this, my mom said don't do this. Doctor say do this, my mom said don't do this. So after the baby came, my mom said I asked her not to do this, because if you're trying to have a natural birth, there's a size the baby needs to be at when you're trying to have a natural birth. If the baby is bigger than that size, you're at the risk of having a C-section. And you know the way Africans portray
I mean, we are
C-section,
not
right?
discounting science and
No, we're
everything,
not
but
discounting it.
the
I mean, if you
whole
have
the
to,
old ways
the
work
old
too.
ways work too. So if you have to do it, I'm not saying you shouldn't have to, but my mom was cautioning about what you eat. Like you have to eat healthy. You have to stop eating junks. You have to do this because if the baby, boom, gain weight and is
All the
that big,
cravings
then
you're
at the end of
having, like
you,
no, even
all
though
the,
you have the craving, that yeah, it's
you have
not
to
good.
control it, just to make sure you're healthy, you're safe, and your baby is healthy and safe as well. You have a successful, birthing, which is what everybody hope for. So this is gonna bring us to the end of today's episode.
Awesome.
And I would like to sincerely, on behalf of myself, the Reader Talks podcast, and all the audiences, everybody listening at home, I would like to thank our guest. You've been an amazing addition to this podcast. Like
Anytime, bro.
all the contributions was real talk that hits really close to home,
Oh yeah.
and I believe almost everyone viewing can relate to it. So
Oh yeah.
thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you, and I know as we grow and expand, definitely we'll be asking you to come again. We'll definitely be
I'm
willing to
available,
bring
man.
you on the podcast
We
again.
live in the same county, so we're close.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Like I
And
said before we go,
yeah,
our opinions are our opinions.
right,
It's the way
right,
we were raised. It's what
Mhm.
we saw.
Right.
It's what we learned. It's how
Mhm.
we grew up.
Right.
So it's not Bible. It's not gospel, as they say.
And it's not science either.
So
It's not
it's
this
us,
way you have to do it or that way. The
you know.
opinion is strictly of the guest, and also my opinion is also my opinion. It has nothing to do with the Talks TV or has nothing to do with the Talks podcast. So please, if you have any question, any concern, you can definitely drop that in the comment section, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.